Welcome to Pixlr.com, which is a free browser-based image editor. Let's click Open Image Editor and get rid of this front screen and get started. Today we're going to create a small ad for a flower shop, and we're going to be using a couple of tools. The Marquee Tool, which is right here in the toolbox, the Adjustment menu, where we'll be working with brightness and contrast, and then the Text tool right here. So let's get started. I'll go to File, Open. I'm here at my desktop, and I'll open the sunflower JPEG, and there it is. We'll begin by using the cropping tool right here to create a smaller version of this picture here in the center. And as always, you can move the grid around with a left click and a drag, and you can change the size of it by using these sizing boxes in the corner. And once you like your image, double click in the center, and that creates your crop. If we look in the lower left hand corner of this picture, we can see that this is only 20% of the actual size of our picture. So we'll next resize. I'll go to Image, Image Size, make sure I have Constrained Proportions checked, and I'll take this down to a more reasonable 300 pixels. Click OK. The image gets very small, so I'll go to View and Actual Pixels to take it up to regular size again. We'll next define the area where we want our text to go by using the Marquee tool here in the toolbox. I'll click it, and before I draw it, I'm going to move my feathering up to a rather large 45, just so you can see it very clearly. And I'll then left click and drag to create the marquee box. And then let go. Here's my marquee area. I'll now go to Adjustments and Brightness and Contrast. Our goal here is to keep the picture from interfering with our text, so we're going to gray out this center. I'll first crank up my brightness, and that's rather extreme and garish, so I'll then lower way down my contrast so it's a fairly neutral effect. I think we'll go with that. Click OK. Then to get rid of this marquee, these marching ants, go to Edit and Deselect All. We'll next add our text. So I'll choose the Text tool right here, this giant A. I'll click it, then I'll click on my image somewhere. Before I start, let me point out that over here on the Layers palette, we've now started creating a second layer. So this background is our picture with that marquee there in the center, and then our second layer will be this text. The text goes in this box. I've typed in my text here in the text box on the right, and as I type my text in, I can see it show up here on my image in a preview. At any time, you can change any of these variables. You can change your font to whatever you like. You can change the size of your text. You can change the style to bold italics, and so on. And you can change the color here either by using this palette or by sampling one of the colors in your picture. So if I click my eyedropper here, I sample that actual color in the poster. I'll click OK. And you can also change exactly where you want the text to go by left clicking and dragging. Once you have it exactly the way you want it, click OK, and you now have an ad. Our final step is to save it. We'll go to File, Save. We're going to save it to our own computer. We're going to save it as a JPEG, and we're going to go to highest quality, click OK, and we've now saved. I'll rename it here so I don't overwrite the old one. We've now saved this poster onto our own desktop.